The Book of Prayer is a strange little compilation of prayers from all religions, and it came out in 2001 and was reissued, reprinted recently. When I started working on it, it was a big discovery for me because I had no idea until I started working on it that this was the first multi-faith prayer book in the public domain after independence. Apparently the one before that had been in 1922, and it was compiled by Mahatma Gandhi and printed by the Navjeevan Press. So it was with a sense of tremendous excitement and almost trepidation that I undertook this work, because you wanted it to sincerely reflect everybody's need to say thanks and to ask for help, which is the essence of prayer really in any religion. And alongside, I made another discovery that really astonished me, and that was that the very words used by the Upanishads about describing the essence of God as, comparing it to oil in a sesame seed or scent in a flower or ghee in milk, this was repeated, this concept was actually repeated word for word even by reformers and iconoclasts across time and space. People like Guru Nanak, Kabir, Mahadevi Akka. It was incredible that how deeply this has been internalized by the subcontinent, and it's been poured like in handfuls of offering in the river by everybody from Punjab to South India. So that was an amazing discovery. It was like a hidden Saraswati. I use these terms cautiously because I'm using them culturally, not politically, and I want to make that very clear. But this was indeed a fact, and it was only when you worked on the books, on the languages, and put everybody together that you could see, hello, this is the pattern, they're actually saying the same thing. So this has been one of, I would say, my most exciting and inspiring reasons for having done this book and for carrying on working in the field of commentary on religion. I went to primary sources, of course, and worked with people in, experts in their particular language, and made a basic English translation and then refined that translation and then rechecked it with them for accuracy or any inadvertent mistakes. So after going through all these stages, then I put it together for the publisher. And I was gratified actually that the Park Hotel kept it in each room in the bedside table drawer, like the Gideon's Bible is kept abroad, because everybody was in it. And I feel so happy when somebody tells me that something in it struck a chord or helped them at a particular point, because it certainly helped me. So in that sense, prayers seem to still work as a source of just, steeling one's own spine, help one stand up and move forward in a positive way. So that I would describe perhaps as the enduring value of something like this. Viking actually asked me to do this, and they felt that because I was the only religion editor in existence in the mainstream press, there isn't one now. At that time, I was beginning to talk to the Indian public. It was a dialogue where I was concerned, where we were together looking at things and deciding what to keep and what to throw, what was no longer relevant to our lives. And the way I put it was, we wanted to disown the wicked uncle but keep the mother, in terms of culture and in terms of the inner ecstasies or serenity that religion can sometimes provide, the good side of religion basically. Now, where does a religion live really except in its words? In the things we say to each other and to that presence that, for descriptive convenience we call divine. Since I'd begun this dialogue already, Viking asked me if I would like to do a book like this, and I was very happy to do it. because it made perfect sense to bring together things like, say, the 23rd Psalm or Guru Nanak's Aarti, or Bhakti verse, or even Upanishadic verse, and put it all together and see what are people actually saying. And they're saying some very nice things. So that was how the book happened. Well, the most fun that I had was Kashmiri, where, I used the verses of this mystic poet, Lal Ded, also called Laleshwari. And her verse, by the way, is also extremely Upanishadic, And she says, so I asked Siddharth Basu's wife, Anita called Basu, who can read Kashmiri, speak Kashmiri. I asked her to help me with the translation. And she had so much fun, I can only call it unholy mirth, at my attempts to pronounce Kashmiri. So that was really funny. And I had various friends, very qualified friends. One person I'm very grateful to is the late Dr. Deshpande, who is a former head of the Archaeological Survey of India. He helped me with a prayer in Ardha Magadi, Buddhist prayer. It was probably a language actually spoken. It still survives as a dialect called Maggi. And then my father helped me, he threw me a lifeline, you can say, in swimming around in my mother tongue, Tamil, where I had some familiarity, but I definitely needed help also. Especially in unpeeling the layers of mystic meaning and bringing in all the cultural resonances to bear on it, so that my translation could improve because of that. So you can say from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, various known and trusted and reliable people were of great help to me, and I'm grateful to all of them. I think and I pray that something like the Book of Prayer in Viking should achieve better mutual understanding amongst us all, as not only as citizens of India, but as human beings, so that we are able to understand and empathize with each other and say, look, my God, everybody just wants a life and wants a decent life and wants to live in peace and wants to live with dignity and wants to help each other. And the problem is not God, the problem is man. So we should learn to also distinguish between the things done in the name of God and the actual, nature of what that godness might actually be. A qualitative difference and an operative difference. So I hope something like this will help people get perspective on the subject in a positive way. Honestly, I don't, it's not a contentious question for me because I'm a woman. And women really don't have a place of honor in any of the patriarchal religions. And there are no other kind, basically, the major religions. So why do I even bother, you can say, with this subject? Number one, because somebody's got to wade in. For too long the debate, there has been no middle ground. The debate's always been polarized between right wing and a left wing. But most people seem to live in the middle. So all right, let it be a deracinated person like me who is in the system and yet out of the system. As a woman, I'm not a stakeholder. There are no stakes in it for me. But what I do enjoy as a person is the poetry of religion. Religion as literature, religion as stirring your conscience, stirring your thoughts, helping you look at the world, look at yourself. If I had to make an abstract diagram, I would say existence is 5 concentric circles. You are the innermost circle. Your family, your place of employment, your neighborhood, your national identity, your human identity, these are the expanding circles. The dynamics between these circles is your existence, is everybody's existence. So it's important to understand what people were actually trying to say. They must have had a plan. If the plan went wrong, why did it go wrong? How can you negotiate a space within that, an honorable space, which is more inclusive of everybody? Because at the end of the day, you do need some kind of order, maybe. So if I had to actually sum up at least the religion I was born into with one symbol, it would not be the Om, it would not be the swastika, it would be none of those regular associations. For me, the symbol of this religion is the question mark, the prashniyam, because that's what the Upanishads were asking. They began about asking. And in the Rig Veda, in the 10th mandala, 129 sukta, they actually say we don't know. So for me, that's a very interesting starting point. So these things, existential queries, are addressed through the process of religion. So you can, figure things out better maybe by at least submitting to the process and then coming out with whatever conclusion rings honestly for you as an individual. That's my view. I tried to choose a variety of prayers which sort of ride the range, the gamut of human emotion. And some of them are deeply introspective. Some of them are exuberant descriptions, varnan. Some of them are, wistful. So you can say they ride a navarasa of emotions. So in that sense, the prayers reflect everything about the human condition.